Hi, welcome to July's Technique class with Michelle Last. Today on one of the cards in July we're using the Something to Say stamp set, and we're actually using a little something cute for a cute little someone sentiment out of this stamp set. We're also going to make it into a baby card. So if you can see the hardwood wood grain background on that as if it was a little chest of drawers, we're going to use the hardwood background stamp to get that effect. And we're also going to be using the Something for Baby stamp set, the matching framelets. Now you can cut around the images if you prefer not to use the framelets, it's up to you. I actually cut around these images because I hadn't ordered the framelets by then, but I've since got them because I had to. Right, okay, so when you open your card pack you will have a blue one as per the sample. So you've got, you can stamp whatever colour the baby grey you want to be on the front, but you've got blue cardstock on the inside. I'm going to make a pink one, just then I've got a boy and a girl card. So I'm going to show you the inside first. So on the inside we've got the sentiment in the darker ink and then the heart in the lighter ink. So I'm going to get for your cute little someone sentiment here, I'm going to get the darker ink, so I'm going to use rose red and pink pirouette for a girl's card. I used Marina Mist and not Night of Navy for the boys card. So I'm just going to do what I always do, see if I can do it with that Stamp-A-Majig, and use the straight lines on the grid paper to see if I can stamp it straight. Now this is a little bit wonky, I have to tell you, so I'm going to try and correct it. It just means I've mounted it wonky. So I need to come down on the S. So let's try that. Because I always get another side. But no, I'm happy with that, that's come out well. And then I'm going to use the heart from the Something for Baby set. Could use the heart from the Something to Say set, but it's not complete in that it's got sketch lines in it, so I'm going to use the one from Something for Baby. And I'm just going to pick up a bit of light pink ink and stamp a little heart in the middle there. A bit lost on the dark, but anyway, a bit better on the blue one if I'm honest. So there it is on the blue one. Okay, so now I'm going to just adhere that to the pink pirouette cardstock. Like so. Now I wouldn't encourage you to stick that in just yet, because what we need to do is punch out that relief from the bottom. So until we've done the punch out will I know how much room I've got to play with and where it can go. I'm just going to set that aside for a second. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stamp the front of our card using the hardwood background stamp. Now the actual stamped image is the same size as the card blank. So this is the stamped image size. When you lay the card blank on the top you will see that the card actually extends just slightly longer. So just a couple of tips when using a background stamp. What I've done is I've drawn lines on the edge of my background stamp so I know where the stamp is underneath. I know my stamp comes from here to here, and I know that it comes from here to here, and I'm going to use my grid paper to help me get the best impression I can. Now it might not be perfect, but it might be good enough. So I'm going to line it up on my grid paper, which is not straight for you guys. There, is that better? Now when you're inking up a background stamp you want to make sure your stamp is completely flat on the table on a hard surface. Don't hold it in your hand and then tap on it, because then you're going to get parts that are pressed harder than others. Then you're going to go all over the background stamp, just tapping it, getting ink all over it, and nice coverage. And then you're going to stand, because you want to get a really nice solid image. And using my lines on my stamp and trying not to hit the tripod, I'm going to do the best I can. Oh my days, wish me luck. I'm going to lay it down, and then what I want you to do is hold it with one hand, and then I want you to strategically go over every piece of this background stamp. Sometimes people do this, and then when they lift it off, there's a nice gap here where they've not reached the whole stamp. So I want to go across the whole stamp. And if you do this with your background stamps, you won't have any problems. So make sure you've gone over the whole stamp. Now say a little prayer and keep your fingers crossed for me. Okay, it's straight, we like that. I've missed a little bit here, but I'm not going to worry about that. I actually missed a little bit on this one too, and I don't know if you can see, but what I did was I just put some embossing lines on the inside to just give a bit of detail as if it's the top of the dressing table, not the dressing table, the chest of drawers, so you can do the same. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to get my trimmer and I'm going to open it up and just add a couple of score lines. Let's see. I'm not going edge to edge. And if you want to do it upside down, you can, and then you'll have score lines that face up, whatever's important to you. But just adding those little score lines has just added some detail at the top, which makes it look like I haven't missed it. Shh. The next thing we're going to do is the piece of card is already cut to size for you in your kit. Now it's the correct width, so check it. If it's the if it goes edge to edge, that's the wrong way. If it goes with a gap either side, then that's designed to go on the front of your chest of drawers like that, not like that. Okay, so like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to stamp the hardwood stamp set the other way round. Can you see that the grain is going down on the background? Now we're going to go across on our sheet. So it's really important to get the orientation right. Okay, so I know that that orientation's right there. I'm going to lay down the background stamp. I'm going to re-ink it up. And now, do you remember, I'm going crossways. I'm trying to go straight. So I'm using grid paper as a guide, and I'm going over the whole pin. I'm being a bit quick, if I'm honest. A bit slapdash, but you can take a little bit longer. Okay, so there's your lovely background, and what you're going to do is remember 3.5 centimeters. You're going to cut 3.5 centimeter strips. 1, 2, 3. So they are the drawers. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get the handheld hole punch. Okay. See with the little prong here, and I'm going to lay them all up together. I'm going to sit down again now, make sure I don't knock the tripod. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in. I'm going to use what am I going to use as a guide? What I'm going to use, and make sure all three. And on my one, you want to find something. So I see that little dot there. That's going to be lined up to the edge of the card. I'm doing all three at the same time. I'm making sure there's an even gap this side and this side. And I'm going to punch through and make the hole. And I'm going to turn it around and do exactly the same. So even gap either side, the little dot up to the edge of the card, and punch through. Now inside your kit, you've actually got 5 of the brad bases, okay, not 6, and that's because you don't see one of the dresser handles, and so you've only got 5. So pop those through, open up the back, there's one. And so it means that all your handles for your dresser are all the same width from the edge, just like it would be on a piece of furniture. And then this one is going on here, like so. So this one's actually going to have my coat hanger on it, like that. It's the middle one. But we're going to come back to that in a second. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to punch out the decorative label punch at the bottom of this card. So what you want to do is you want to get both pieces of the front and the back of the card. You want to line it up. The card's a bit squiffy. I think I've sorted it. So I'm going to try and get an even gap either side, and then I'm going to create the legs of the dresser like so. I haven't gone all the way to the centre point of the punch, just about a third of the way down. In fact, I'm going to go down like that. Punch it out, just created the little legs for your dresser. And so that now means you can see how big a gap you've got to stick this in. Make it even top and bottom, like so. So I'm going to stick that in first. Okay, so that's stuck in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some dimensionals, and I'm going to put them on the back of the drawers. If I stick them over the brads, that should hold them flat to 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just a couple of tips really. This one we know is going in the middle, so I'm going to stick that one on last. So what I want to do is stick it even gap right and left, just gently. Oops, just press it down gently. That looks like it's not straight because my line isn't straight, but it's fine. It is straight. I'm going to stick the bottom one down one way around. Okay, which leaves me a gap, and I know that this has got to fit inside that gap. Whereas if I'd done the middle one and then I hadn't left enough room, I'd have to start taking them off. So top and bottom first, then the middle one will just fill in the leftover space with an even gap top and bottom. Let's get that in there nicely. Okay, so once you're happy with it, you can press down firmly. Okay, and then you're going to use candy dots. Now you've got candy dots in your kit, but because I'm doing a pink one, I'm going to pick off the little pink dots and fill my little brad bases, which are already sticky I should say, into my brad bases like that. So just bear with me while I do that. So you need a pokey tool to get under the glue dot underneath them. But once you do, it's simple. You just lift them off and pop them in place. And there is a little bit of manoeuvrability, which is always good and often needed. And then that one, finally. Oh, I love the little pink one. That's cute. Okay, so we're pretty much ready for our baby grow and our duck. So that's pretty easy too. What you're going to do now is you're going to get the bit of spare very vanilla card you have in your card kit, and you're going to stamp the baby grow and the duck on your cardstock. So I'm going to use the pink pirouette for the baby grow. So I get a nice coverage, so I'm just going to stamp that down, because this is a solid stamp. Give it a lot of pressure, and we're going to cut around it with the framelets, so that's going to be, you know, if you catch the edge, it's not the end of the world. Then we're going to do the ducky. So I've got room for 2 ducks here, so what I'm going to try is I'm going to stamp one duck, and then I'm going to stamp another duck, she says. No, I haven't got enough ink on that. I need to re-ink that, so bear with me. Ink, stamp, stamp. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see if I wanted a lighter duck or a darker duck. As it happens, I want another duck. So there we go. That's better. Now I'm going to get the framelits and I'm going to get my Big Shot. Excuse me a moment while this comes back in. So the good thing is this is just one swipe through the Big Shot. This doesn't take several run-throughs. One. Where are you, Mr. Ducky? Okay. So pop your die down and the magnetic platform should hold it for you. If I turn it up the other way, that'd probably be easier on the eye, won't it? There's Mr. Ducky. And then the baby grow. As you can see, they cut around these beautifully. Let's just line it up properly. There. Run that through. Pop my Big Shot back on the floor. And immediately put my framelits back in the pouch so they don't get lost, which can happen when you've got little fiddly bits. So look after your fiddly bits. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to stamp a little something cute on the baby grow. You could have done it before. Probably should have done it before, but so I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Majig. I am not going to chance stamping this. So I'm going to do it in a slightly darker colour ink, the rose red, and I'm going to get it on my imaging sheet, and I'm going to take it to my baby glue. Getting it straight is the most important thing. There. Cool. And in your kits, you've actually got a retired item in your kit, which I don't normally do, but when I made these, she says, I can't find mine now, here it is, I left it on there, didn't I? When I made these, I was thinking, oh, a little coat hanger would be really cute, but that's actually a retired item and I didn't have any left. I'd actually sold them, so one of my lovely Dutch team members sent me some, so thank you so much, Diana. You're a lifesaver. I'm just going to put a couple of glue dots on here like that. Doesn't really matter how many I put on. And then I'm going to put dimensional on the bottom of the baby grow like that, because that bit's going to be raised. The coat hanger is automatically going to raise the other bit, and I'm going to position it like so. So there's the baby grow, there's my little duck. So again, another dimensional. Might just put two on there. I might use one of my edge pieces of my dimensionals. Love using up a whole sheet, makes me feel very accomplished. I'm going to stick my little ducky somewhere, so I think we'll have a little ducky here. And the last thing you need to do, oh no, I mustn't cover up that lovely pink handle. Last thing you need to do is use the brown marker pen and make a little eye. And if you wanted to, you could change the beak for the duck. It might be nice to make the beak orange, but I'm going to leave mine as it is. So that's it. Perfect little baby girl card and a perfect little baby boy card. Which one's your favourite? Perfect. So thanks for watching, and come back and see the other card. Thanks very much.